Hello and welcome. And so today I'm going to talk about red flag number 40. What I talk about in the actual videos, in most cases, it's just an introduction. And the book obviously goes into more details, more complicated details about each flag. So if you don't have the book, I'll put a link below the video and get the book. If you're on the dating scene, you want to avoid ever falling for another romantic predator, then check out my book. The link will be below this video. So coming back to today, and this is red flag number 40, and that is that narcissists isolate you from family and friends. And this is something they can start doing right away, right early on in the relationship. This is one of the most destructive things that they can do. So for example, if they identify anyone in your circle who might see through them, they will immediately want to remove that threat, which is why I've said this can start happening very early on in the relationship. But they don't do this blatantly. They're very cunning in how they tackle this one. So what they might do is initially act like they really like this person, and they'll tell you that, they're really happy that you have such a great sister or friend or whatever. But then slowly they'll pick up on something about that person and start criticizing them. But this will be done in a very subtle way. So they'll make a comment like, your sister or friend or whoever is great, but I sometimes think maybe she's a bit jealous of you. Now, this type of comment is designed to get you second guessing yourself and thinking differently about this person. And it's a very, very nasty, underhanded way of undermining that person's value in your eyes and before long in your life. It's a really sneaky way of doing this, but they do it all the time. So that's one way they will do it. That's the really covert way of doing it. And I don't mean it's the covert narcissist. It's just a covert way that any narcissist might use to get that person out of your life ultimately, or to get you to spend a lot less time with them, or to think much less about them, or to value them less. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, they might do something completely different, which is they will outright lie about something that your friend or your sister said about you, but they'll beg you not to mention it. They'll say that they're only telling you because they thought you really ought to know. And soon they'll persuade you that this person is no good for you. And this way, they drive a wedge between you and that person. Now, again, they'll normally do this in the early stages of the relationship as well, when you are totally besotted with them and their powers of influence are so strong over you. What they'll do is they'll say things like, let's say you want to go and spend an evening with your sister or with your best friend or whatever. Oh, but I want us to spend all our spare time together. Or they'll say, oh, don't go out tonight. Stay here with me instead, spend it with me. Or they'll say something like, I can't bear to spend a day or a night without you. They'll say all those obvious things to get you to stay with them. Or they'll say, oh, I don't see eye to eye with so-and-so. Do we really have to go? Or, yeah, could we give it a miss this time? So, and because you want to keep them happy and you're thinking, oh, they want to spend their time with me and they're so in love with me and this is so amazing, that you'll give in. Now, whilst the initial isolation begins with subtlety, over time, it actually becomes more demanding, or it becomes grounds for major battles or silent treatment or any other narc tactic they can pull out of the narc's playbook. So what you'll find happens is you'll give in just to keep the peace, because you don't have the energy and the emotional space to argue with them. And this way, or this need to isolate you, they can take this as far as getting you to relocate, leaving everyone you know and love behind. And this happens all the time. They are also frequent job hoppers. So it's pretty easy for them to find a job in a different location and persuade you to up sticks and move with them and leave everything and everyone you know behind. But it doesn't stop there. Isolating you from people is not enough. That's the start. But they want all of you. They want, to swallow you up whole. So if you have hobbies, for example, or you like to go to the gym, or you have any kind of extracurricular activities, they'll find a way to scupper those too. So they might accuse you of flirting with people at the gym. So they'll buy you they'll buy you a treadmill to use at the house at home, so you can work out on that. You now have no excuse to go to the gym. Or they'll say that your hobbies are a waste of time or waste of money, and that you're not very good at it anyway. Why not spend your time with me instead? Or why don't you do something I want you to do instead? And they will take it into your career. They'll ruin their career. This happens. They can easily do it. They might get you to stop studying for better qualifications, or quit your job so that you don't have to travel or commute so much, or because you want to start a family, or they'll get you to stop dressing the way you like and to change your hairstyle. And again, all of these things I have heard have happened to people in my groups or that I've worked with. I'm not making any of this up. This is what they do. This is how they strip and chip away and ultimately erode your identity. And in time, as their control over you gets stronger, and it will, they might then get to the point of outright forbidding you to do anything that they don't want you to do, which is basically everything. So you can't go to a family wedding. I've even known people who couldn't go to a family funeral because their narc forbid them to go. No, you can't go, and that's that. And they've missed vital family gatherings, which causes further rifts. So the wedge grows wider. So gradually they can isolate you from your family, your friends, and everything you enjoyed doing. And one day you'll wake up and realize you're completely alone and you have no one but them anymore. Now, they may also take it to the level of monitoring or taking away, your phone or your laptop. They might insist on having all your passwords so they can access your bank account, your social media, and anything else they like. Ultimately, you've got absolutely no say and no life of your own, and you're living like a prisoner, and your partner is the jailer. And I see this happening all the time. I have people messaging me saying I have to be quick. If my partner sees this, I'm in trouble. I have to delete messages as soon as I send them. This kind of surreptitious communication is going on. It's insane. Insanity is what it is. But this is what they drive you to. Now, why do they do it? Why do narcissists isolate you in this way? So let me tell you why. Top of the list is to manipulate and control you, and thereby securing plenty of fuel from you. But it's also to keep you from revealing the abuse to anyone in your circle, and to make you more and more dependent on them. So as you can see, there are layers and layers of why they do this. It's very, very good for them, and it's very, very bad for you. But in spite of all that, in spite of you turning yourself into a complete doormat who bows down to their every whim, that won't be enough. They will still continue to demand more and more from you until you are so broken down you don't know which way is up anymore. And then they'll just discard you, just without a backward glance, because you've become too boring. They're not getting enough fuel from you anymore, and they just can't be bothered, and they found a much more exciting new source of supply. And so they discard you without a backward glance. And you're left stranded on this island of isolation. And you've become so broken and damaged by this person that you really know that you just don't know who you are anymore. And you've burned all your bridges, and there's no one left to turn to. And again, this might all sound like scaremongering, but please believe me when I tell you it's not. I hear stories like this all the time, particularly from women, but not just women, but this type of isolation, I hear more from women, who message me and tell me this is what's going on. But I have it with guys, they haven't got a bank account anymore. It's all in the narcissist's control. They can't message. It's crazy. It's insane. And they're doing everything in secret, and they're living in fear of being caught. I've had people had to leave my Facebook group because they can't risk, even though it's my groups are closed and private, they're afraid that somehow that the next or the current narcissist will figure out what they're doing, and they'll get in trouble for it, like their kids at school who are going to get told off or put in detention at the end of the day. This is what they do to you. Now, goodness me, how to avoid the trap? So the best way to avoid this is to never, ever abandon your family or friends in favor of a new romantic partner, or even someone you've been with quite some time, because unless you're very careful and you've watched the behaviors very carefully, they can still turn out to be narcissists who are going to isolate you. Never ever give up your family who've been with you all your life, and your close friends, some which might have also been with you all your life. Do not do it. And if you're even thinking of it, ask yourself, why would you even think about doing that? Why would you trust the opinion of someone new in your life against family or friends that you've known way, way longer? And remember, there should always be room for both in any healthy relationship. And if someone tries to limit your time with them, with your family, with your friends, they try to limit or marginalize the relationship in any way, cut them out of your life. See this as a massive red flag waving in the wind, and make it a deal breaker and put it on your list of deal breakers when it comes to dating, and not even dating and beyond. Because as I said, there should always be room. Any normal, healthy person will respect your need to have family, friends, and other associates in your life, because that's what normal, healthy people do. They will not expect you to cut these people out of your life in favor of them. Would you do that to another person? Do you expect them to not see this person or that person or the other person because you don't like them? Even in the case where you genuinely don't get on with some people in that person's life, because we don't like everybody in everyone's life, let's face it. But you can still accept that, okay, I'm not keen on her, but she gets on really well with him or her, whatever, so fair enough. Let them have their time together. It's not an either or. So anyone who's normal will understand that, and you work things out, okay? But what do you do if it's too late and you've already fallen into that trap, and you're watching this video now and you find yourself totally isolated? What can you do then? Now, one of the reasons I started my Facebook groups was to help people who find themselves in this situation, to help them to know they can connect with other people who know what they're going through. So if you're stuck in isolation now, come and join one of my groups, or find a group that will help, will help you get some support. You are not alone. You can set up a fake profile on Facebook. You can create a new secret Gmail account that your partner doesn't know anything about, and just hide all evidence of it. If you can, get a different phone so you have a different number they know nothing about, and start getting the support that you need, rather than continuing on in isolation, because you can get out. People do it all the time, but it takes thought and planning. Now, I also recommend reaching back out to your family or to close friends who would listen to you if you had the chance to talk to them. Maybe not everyone will welcome you back with open arms, but the ones who really cared about you, the ones who really love you, they very likely will. So take the chance. And the other thing, of course, is to get professional help if you can. If you can afford to, reach out, get a therapist. Contact me if you like. I'm a therapist who understands NPD and abuse and can help you understand why this happened to you, and help you to get over the trauma, and help you to start living again, start living your life again. So that is it for this flag. Thank you so much for watching. I will get to the rest of the flags. We'll get those flags down on video as soon as I can for you. So thank you very much for watching. Maria McMahon here with you, and I appreciate your time. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now. Bye.